The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
And good morning, everyone. World famous Butch and Bob Show for this Thursday morning is the 9th day of May. Butch Hubbard here with you along with Bob Morgan. Appreciate you waking up and tuning in. The Big Dog, World Famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by the Wolf Animal Hospital located on West Cherry Street. Also brought to you by Mike Bridge Ford in Blackshear, by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup, and Murphy Builder Supply in downtown Jesup. Good morning, Bob. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You doing good?
Yep.
All right. Well, we've got lots of guests. We got some here in the studio, some in the green room. So let's go ahead and get started. Who do we have first, Bob?
We got Director of Marketing and Volunteers at Windmore Hospital, Jill Blizzard, with us, and she's got a special guest, so I'll let her introduce the new doctor. Hey, Jill, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm well. Hope you guys are. Thank you for having us in here once a month for Hospital Day. I know I was just in here a couple weeks ago for April, but we have a special guest with us. He's been in town 1 week. It is Dr. Oliver Jenkins, our new ENT.
Oliver Jenkins, ENT. So, tell folks what that is.
Ear, nose, and throat, and I bet he can elaborate a whole lot more on that.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. And thanks, Butch and Bob. It's a pleasure being here, and thanks for having me. It's been, ENT is one of the older specialties in medicine, and it's ear, nose, and throat. Okay, so some people, though a few people, would know it by its Latin name of otolaryngology. Okay.
Not me.
But we take care of a whole lot of common things. Kids with recurrent ear infections, kids who have need their tonsils out, if people who have recurrent sinus infections, people who have seasonal allergies and need treatment for that part of it, as well as common sleep disordered things, for people who have obstructive sleep apnea or snores, as well as your general hoarseness and.
We'll go back to the snores thing. What'd you call that?
Yeah, obstructive sleep apnea.
No, the snores thing. Snores.
Yes.
Say that again.
Well, the people who have snoring.
Oh, snoring. But I thought you had a technical term there for it. No. Okay. Just good old snoring.
Just
right? Good
old fashioned snoring.
Okay. All right. So you can help people with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What, earplugs for their partner?
Well, believe it or not, most wives, because most people who snore are men, most wives come up with that on their own. Okay, so that's available as an over-the-counter therapy.
Maybe you can help folks with that.
Yeah.
And go ahead. I'm sorry I didn't interrupt you, but I just thought you had a technical name for it.
No. Yeah. And then from there, it's just if people have issues with their thyroid or parotid glands and those kinds of things. So basically everything from the collarbones up, okay? Excluding the eyes and the brain.
Okay. And what about the hearing? What do y'all work do on that?
Absolutely, we do. We also do. Then that's the ear part of that. So, I do ear surgery. Okay. So like I said, tubes for kids. Okay, ear surgery if someone has a blown out eardrum or something along those lines, or something even more involved with that part of it. Okay. If we can't get it taken care of, we'll get you to somebody who will.
Well, you're in a small town. We always like to know where you came from.
Well, not far away actually. Okay. Home for me is Jasper County, okay, just across the way from the river in Savannah. I grew up in a little
Jasper's right across the river over in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
I grew up in a little town called Garnet, okay, really, really small. We didn't have an intersection, so Jesup is a metropolis, okay, in comparison, okay. And
you mean you got a town where you can't even say go to the light and turn?
Correct.
No light.
I did live on the street with a stop sign.
Oh, you did.
Okay. Okay. All right. And if there wasn't a rattlesnake on there, okay, that somebody killed, you could read all of the STOP. Okay. So, but I graduated from Bridgeland High School. Okay, and then. From there, went to the College of Charleston, and then from there, the education bug took over, and I was in Philadelphia for med school, Los Angeles for residency, and practiced in the Midwest for quite some time.
Okay, so you're up there in the Midwest. What got you to move back down here to the South, and especially in this area, and work here in Jesup as an ear, nose, and throat specialist?
Several things, honestly. The answer to that actually starts a little bit further back.
Okay.
I was in Los Angeles, and believe it or not, I was in practice in Beverly Hills, and it was. I was successful on the professional side. I had children, and my kids were born out there, and for a small town boy who blinked and said, "How did I get here?" Okay. And I hope I don't offend anyone else, but I said I didn't want my children growing up thinking that this was normal. Okay. So part of what things ended up being is that I was kind of, honey, we've got to go.
All right, so you left.
That was the impetus to get to the Midwest.
Okay.
The Midwest was great from that standpoint. It was a middle ground. But the other piece about the Midwest is that it had winter. Okay. Okay. And
we have a few weeks of that here, as you well know.
So that's what happened there. I didn't have family, but I developed some good friends in the Midwest. And then when my kids grew up, it was the universal adage from my family of go south, young man. And so my son went to Georgia Tech and graduated from there about 2 years ago. And my daughter's in school in Alabama and is graduating this weekend. So the deal comes is that we then had that thing of, hey, what's keeping us here? And to boot, my dad is still with me, and he's 101, and he lives in Savannah. 101 lives in Savannah.
Wow.
And he's a World War II vet, still able to get him on the exercise bike every so often.
Amazing.
And he gets up and down the steps with his walker in tow, and I can get him to the beach. I can take him on drives, and and being this close allows me to be the son I want to be.
Right. Okay,
for the time that he has.
Right. Have you moved your family into this area?
The answer is no. So when I came down this part, I was based out of Atlanta, which is where I still am for right now. And so my family, which is my wife, my mother-in-law, and dog, is still in Atlanta. And the deal comes is that we're gonna, and I'm renting an apartment here, and getting started and getting settled, and we're gonna take this all one step at a time.
What are your days and hours there at the ear, nose, and throat specialist building, which has been had a couple other doctors through the years, and it's located on Peachtree Street here in town. What will your hours be in days?
The situation is that we're going to be out of Jesup most of the time. We're going to have a satellite office in Hinesville and a satellite office in Blackshear. And those are going to be on Mondays and Thursdays, I believe. And then from there, the rest of the time, we're going to be in Jesup.
Well, it sounds good. Any more information you can tell us about the doctor, Jill?
Yes, I want to make sure people have his phone number. He's already quite busy. That is 912-427-7790. And you can just call that one number to make an appointment at any of those 3 locations.
So let me get a pen and write that number down. Because sometimes we have, it's all right. I ought to know you. You got everything organized. This is the most organized person I've ever seen. Yes, sirree. Okay. And we do appreciate you coming in this morning. Dr. Oliver Jenkins, the new ear, nose, and throat specialist here in town. We've needed one for over a couple of years now. And so it's good to have you in town. We wish you the best. So you've rented an apartment here. You'll be down here most of the time, but the rest of your family's up in Atlanta. Is that correct? All right. That's fantastic. Is your dad still in Jasper?
He's in Savannah.
He's in Savannah.
So which made the Jesup location ideal, from that standpoint.
Now, how were you contacted to become an ear, nose, and throat specialist? How did that work out? I mean, did you go to a website and say, hey, they're looking for one, or did you get called? Did Jill call you up and, what happened?
In terms of selecting ear, nose, and throat, it's a personal thing, because some people know I want to be a pediatrician or I want to be whatever. And I actually through the time that my evolution, I guess I should say, all I ever knew was a country doctor. There was one country doctor who was a general surgeon who delivered me.
Oh, okay.
And
sort of like Doc Hollywood.
Yeah. And so that's all I ever wanted to be. And then once I got to med school, that part evolved, and At first, I thought I wanted to be a neurologist. Okay. And then because one of the first classes we took was neuroanatomy, just the anatomy of the brain and its function, and I thought it was fascinating. And then from there, second semester, we had physiology, and then I loved the heart, so I thought I was going to be a cardiologist. And then it was a little later on when I got that whole thing about ear, nose, and throat. And what's really neat about it is that you have cardiologists and you have cardiothoracic surgeons, and never the two shall meet. One does the medicine, one does the surgery, kind of never the two shall meet. What I enjoy about what I do is I do the medicine and I do the surgery. Okay. And when it comes to these kinds of things, okay, I do women, I do men, I do children, I do adults. Okay. So it's harder to get bored in that kind of context.
And what brought you to Jesup to be our ear, nose, and throat specialist?
Well, that whole concept there of, of what I was saying about location, family. Okay?
All right. Then the position was available.
Yeah.
Were you recruited then?
Yeah. Well, the answer is yes, but actually I reached out. Actually, I didn't made the first move.
You made the first move.
I made the
All right.
first
Well,
move.
good. Well, we've been looking for one for a couple of years. You don't find them on every street corner, so we're.
It's a small number.
Yeah.
It's a small number. It's a
So
small
we're
number.
glad you're here. We're glad you're here, Doctor, and I'm sure that you'll do well here in the Jesup, Wayne County, the entire Southeast Georgia here area here. Folks coming to Jesup and Blackshear and Hinesville to be able to see you.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I thank you guys so much for having me on.
Okay. All right. Jill?
And a couple of quick things before your next group of guests comes in. At the end of the month, we have these wonderful volunteers that I talk about so much. They are a mighty army, and they have a fundraising sale that is going to coincide perfectly with the last week of school. So on Thursday, May 23rd and Friday, May 24th, they have a $6 sale happening in the hospital lobby. Most items are $6. It's jewelry, watches, rings, scarves, things like that, reading glasses. But there's other items too that are closer to like the $19.95 price point. But check it out. It's Thursday, May 23rd, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday, May 24th, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. A small portion of the proceeds goes back to the volunteers so that they can buy necessary but unbudgeted equipment for the hospital. And it might be a great idea to mark this on your calendar if you are one that needs to buy teacher's gifts, because I know there are several hundred of you out there that do that. And the $6 and the $19 price point makes that a little bit easier on the wallet.
Okay.
Also, people already saw this on the front page of the paper, but I can't let it go by without mentioning the study that came out this year about how much we contributed back to the local economy by having our hospital. We generated $129,332,084 in a year, and there's a whole wide variety of reasons for that, but it goes back to the direct expenditures and how many times the dollar can turn in our community. But we're very thankful for the support that not only Jesup and Wayne County, but also Pierce County, Blackshear, all the counties that touch us. We've got people coming from all over to the hospital.
Okay.
And that's important for rural hospitals to be supported by their community. So again, thank you all for having us, and I will see you in June with another guest.
Okay. Once again, the new ear, nose, and throat specialist here in Jesup, Wayne County, and the surrounding area, Dr. Oliver Jenkins. He's in the ENT building there on Peachtree Street. You can give him a call at 427-7790. We didn't ask you about your staff. What staff do you have there in your office, Doctor?
That's still evolving and growing because as I've told my staff, we haven't had ENT for 2 years. So we shifted the gear shift in the first, hope the clutch worked because we were going from a dead stop. So we're starting with a couple people, okay, but we will that part will grow as we add services, because I intend to have an allergy line for allergy testing, immunotherapy, audiology services for hearing testing and hearing aids. But at this point in time, we're just trying to get a system in place so that we can see folks. So right now we're fairly small. We probably have about 4 people, inclusive of medical assistants, front office people, and an LPN. But the whole point is that part will change and grow as our needs dictate.
Well, it's a very nice building. The previous doctor there I went to several times for nose, throat, earring, hears the whole thing.
Yeah.
I found I could hear pretty good, though. I didn't think I could because I got this constant ringing in my ears, but I could actually hear the highest notes that or tones that they did, which surprised me. Being on radio with these headsets on for 40 years, you wonder. But glad that you're here in town, Doctor, and we wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
See you around town. All right, we got more guests coming up here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Stay tuned.
Can you find it?
The Georgia Dermatology WIFO-FM Big Dog Country Cash Can.
Imagine, if you will, a specially marked can hidden in Wayne County, Georgia, worth $1,055. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, find the cash can. Clues to the can's location will be read Monday through Friday live on WIFO at 7:10 a.m., 12:50 p.m., 3:03 p.m., and 5:50 p.m.
Shortly after 5 p.m. on Friday, the clues will be posted online at BigDogCountry.com.
No purchase necessary. You must be 18 to claim the prize. Complete rules online at BigDogCountry.com.
The Georgia Dermatology WIFO-FM Big Dog Country Cash Can.
Coming soon.
This promo will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
And our Big Dog Country Cash Can promotion will begin Monday morning, this coming Monday morning, which is the 13th day of May. And our first clue will be next Monday morning at 7:10. So the Big Dog Country and Georgia Dermatology Cash Can giveaway, where you'll have a chance to win $1,055 beginning Monday with that first clue at 7:10. Bob, more guests here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show.
Pine Forest Country Club's got a new golf pro out there to give golf lessons. Roy Davis helped bring this man to just so I'll let him do the honors of introducing our guest.
All I can say is I was riding around on St. Simon's about 3 or 4 weeks ago in a golf cart with my wife and my 2 dogs, and all of a sudden this friend of mine came up behind me and about ran me over in it. And I pulled over and I was getting ready to say some choice words, and he rolled his window down and said, "Roy, it's me, Mike." So I got out. Our grandson Ashton
Y'all
Davis,
on golf carts?
We were on golf carts riding around.
Okay.
And Mike was in his big.
I was tailgating him.
Oh, you were tailgating.
So anyway, I get out, and our grandson Ashton Davis is playing on the high school team, and Hunter Stuckey, who's a great teacher, left to go into business with his dad at the cleaners. And so I saw Mike, and we started talking. I said, "Mike, I got to get Ashton over to work with you." Mike teaches out of the Sea Island facility over there, and he said, "Well, Roy, I just built a house in Jesup." I said, "What?" "Yeah, I built it out on Lake Grace." He says, "I can work with him out here if you want to." I said, "You get away from St. Simon's to go to Jesup. I get away from Jesup to go to St. Simon's."
That's what I was talking to him about in the green room out there, yeah.
So anyway, that's how it all cranked up, and now it has blossomed. And Mike taught me the game of golf 25 years ago, probably. Mike's not an old guy. Mike's the same age as Davis Love, right?
Yeah, that's probably when high school.
Did you? I knew you did. But he is a tremendous teacher. We are very fortunate to have him in this county, and I'm going to turn it over to him and let him tell you what program he's going to have. And then later on, I'd like to tell what the country club is going to be offering for a lot of these kids.
Okay. Mike Taylor, good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
All right. I understand not only do you work with the Duffers,
That's
but
right.
you have been on the tour working with the pros for many years, right?
I have, yes, sir. I was probably out there 10 years as I got started teaching golf way back in 89 is when I began getting in the golf business. I wanted to become a golf instructor, and I was fortunate enough to go see some of the best instructors in the game. Butch Harmon, I learned from him. I was hired by Golf Digest to go do some schools around the country. And so I got into golf, and then first off, I started working with Lucas Glover. He came down, and then from there it just sort of blossomed. I went on tour with him, met other players out there, Boo Weekley and a bunch of other guys. So I had about 6 or 7 guys that I worked with out on tour.
Okay, well, good. Now, how did you end up giving lessons at the Pine Forest Country Club here in Jesup?
Well, like Roy said,
Roy recruited you, right?
Roy. I ran over Roy on the road one day. I was he was riding, like you said, riding down the road, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And I said, "There's Roy Davis right there." And I said, "Well, the only way I can get him, I'm gonna get right on his bumper, and he'll pull that golf cart over." So he did. And so I popped out and said, "Hey, Roy, how are you?" And then we started talking, and I said, "Actually, I've been hunting up here, and I've actually had some other guys in the hunting club wanting to give lessons to their kids." I said, "So maybe, we can all get together and do something out here." So that's
so you built a small house cabin out there at Lake Grace, and you come inland to go hunting and fishing, right?
That's right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife loves it out there. She's a drug rep, so she calls in some doctors around here as well. But
The legal kind of drugs.
the legal kind of drugs. And so she loves it out there too, and she loves the cows and the country life. So we're looking forward to spending more time out here.
How long have you been teaching on Sea Island?
I've been there since 1989. I'm an independent contractor now, but I first took my first assistant job there in 1989.
Well, if you're on Sea Island giving golf lessons, you have some very famous people that come through there.
Yes, we do. We've got a lot of touring pros that live on the island. Davis Love, Zach Johnson, Jonathan Bird. We've got a whole slew of them. We call it sort of the Sea Island Mafia out there. But they're always out there practicing, so it's good to, because you can learn a lot from them, and being around them, they've helped me out a lot, and we exchange ideas all the time, so it's good to be out there.
Okay. Bob, questions, comments for Mike?
No, like Roy says, he's hit the club, just let people know if they want lessons, how they get in touch with you.
Yeah, so right now, this past Saturday was the first day I came out, and Roy worked me to death. He had me booked from 9 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, and it was great. And I tell you what, I do have to say this on air. The kids that I taught this past week are just gentlemen, and the ladies were just so polite. Yes, sir, no, sir. It's really good to be around kids like that. So
now, but you teach not only children,
you're right,
all the way up to teenage, but you also give lessons to adults.
Adults are welcome, beginners, players of all abilities. We'll get them going, whatever they need. Full swing, short game, putting, bunker, we do it all. So we'd love to improve their games.
Roy probably could even teach Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear that from your project. Is that true, Bob?
A miracle.
He would rather take raw talent and mold it, okay?
Now, see, Bob's always said that he never wants to waste a good shot in practice.
That's right.
He wants to save it for the tournament. Well, he always plays in the foursome. What's that called? Scramble in a scramble. So he contributes a little bit every so often on a chip or a putt.
That's right. He's fun to play with.
Okay, so Mike, what aspects of the when you go there and you're taking someone, let's say even that's never played golf or is just getting into it, or even has been playing for several years and just their game is not where it needs to be, what's the basics? What do you start with?
Well, if they're beginners, we start with the fundamentals. If you can develop good fundamentals as a beginner, then you're going to have chances of becoming even a better golfer. That's a good thing about taking a lesson, because you want to get started right. If you get somebody who hasn't had golf lessons and they start and they get a poor grip, that's going to last throughout their lifetime. Grips are a hard thing to change because you get comfortable with it. So the fundamentals is what we'd start with a beginner: grip, posture, setup, ball position, stuff like that.
Now, the golf swing is not a natural movement by a human being, is it? It's something you have to develop.
The golf swing is tough. There are a lot of, it's like any sport, you've got players with natural ability. So there are players that have natural ability. Flexibility is a huge thing in golf as well. But it is something that has to be learned. Normally, if you give somebody a golf club, they're going to hold it like a baseball bat. Mm-hmm. So either from the very beginning, you have to learn even how to hold the club. So, yeah, it's not a natural swing. It requires some flexibility, but there's a motion to it. Once you can get the fundamentals down and get the club face good and the path good, you can actually start playing pretty good golf.
Okay. Mike Taylor, the new golf pro at Pine Forest Country Club here in Jesup. Roy, you want to tell us about the offer that the Pine Forest is offering to help folks take these lessons?
Mike didn't say this, but if you want a lesson from Mike, now right now we just got it set up on Saturday, or you've got it set up on Saturday.
I think I'm doing some
He's doing some Friday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if he gets more people interested, he might extend it to 2 to 3 days, right, Mike?
Yeah, we're just going to see how it goes, and if it works out well, and there's enough people that want to come out and take lessons and enjoy the game of golf, then we're spend more time here.
So you started off on this Saturday. You're going to expand to some Fridays. Go ahead, Roy.
Possibly, yeah. It's like this Saturday. He's full again.
He's booked again.
He's booked all day Saturday.
But he told me that you did not give him a lunch break this past Saturday.
No, this
He
coming
needs a
No,
lunch
that's
break.
bull. He
This
did
coming
have lunch.
Saturday. This coming Saturday.
No,
I'll
this
have
coming Saturday ain't got a lunch break. So I got to take him a can of soup out
Yeah,
there.
he's going to have to bring you something out there. For
But
lunch.
no, I tell you, and people that are not even members of the country club, I mean, we've got a great facility here in our county. And by not taking advantage of this, you're missing out, especially with kids. But some things that you don't realize that are available, basically, if you've got a kid that's on the middle or high school golf team, and I encourage you to possibly put them on there, but for $5, you get a bucket of balls, range balls from the country club, and you can walk all day long and play golf. Now, you can't do that on the weekend, okay? But and then if you're 10 years and younger, you play free with a paying adult. 11 to 15-year-old, they'll pay cart fee only with playing adult. And basically, over 15, they're going to pay the full price. But there are memberships available out there, and I would encourage everybody to look into it, because golf is a great game. It's not a hoity-toity game or anything like that. It's competitive, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm just happy we have such a great facility. Paige McCray is probably one of the best superintendents in the Southeast, and our course is always ready to play. But I really want people to get encouraged to play this game and to call Mike. Don't call me. Call Mike and set it up at the country club, because you will be pleased with this
They
game.
just called the country club pro shop.
6505.
6505,
He
which
does
is
have
427,
openings.
folks, the
He
old
does
number.
have openings Friday.
Yeah, Friday I do have openings. So we just added Friday yesterday.
Friday.
So we got openings Friday, I think in the morning, which would be a little cooler, so it'd be good as well. But also, like Roy says, I mean, come out and support the club, get the community out there supporting the club. Golf is a great game. I mean, that's how I got started. I started playing golf because of my dad. My dad played golf, and it was more of an opportunity for me to spend time with him. So if you're a parent, come out and get involved with your kid. If they're already playing and you don't play, come join them. Come out and spend a nice day, beautiful afternoon in the golf club, and get into golf yourself.
He's going to be doing clinics too.
Okay,
Yeah, so we're gonna probably put together some clinics too. So maybe some ladies or adults that want to join together and maybe do a group clinic. We're talking about doing that. We don't have the days that we're going to do that yet, but we're going to continue to try to grow the game and promote the game out at the club, and see if we can get a lot more people playing golf out there.
Okay. People can text into us to our regular business line, 912-427-3711. We've got a couple of texts come in. Lesson price, does it go to you or through the country club, or does it go directly to you?
Yeah, it goes towards me.
You're an independent contractor,
That's right.
they will pay you. Right.
Exactly. So it's
And
$100 an hour.
$100 an hour
That's correct.
for a lesson.
Right.
No matter what age?
No matter what age.
No matter what
It's
age.
just one rate, but we will probably have different rates when we start doing the clinics. It'll be depending upon how many people we get and how long we do it. So.
Okay. And Roy, for the prices for the kids that you were just talking about,
Yeah.
is that just for Wayne County residents? We got a lot of county people who live
Right.
outside the county here.
I mean, it's world
Somebody lives in
famous,
another
man.
county. I know it is. And also, we're online, bigdogcountry.com, so people can get it anywhere in the world. But people want to know the prices for the kids. Is that for just Wayne County residents, for everybody?
Well, now, some of these are for the middle and high school golf team. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, the deal, 10 years and younger, plays free with a paying adult, that is available.
For everybody.
For everybody.
Okay.
Now, that's what Paige told me. And 11 to 15, the same thing.
For
okay?
everyone, no matter where you live.
That's correct. I
Okay.
believe that's correct. Now, I could be wrong, and I'll probably get
I'll wait to
blessed
see
out by Kenny Brown when I
the
get
more
off
people
this thing.
the more people they have out there, the better. So if
Well,
you
I
can-
agree totally. I agree.
So,
Totally. Hey, and I encourage people to become a member, because when you become a member, gosh, it's really even cheaper to become a member and play golf than to go out and just pay as you go.
as you go along, yeah.
But they've kind of opened it up to the public in a real nice way, Monday through Friday. Now, sometimes the weekends, that's when all the guys that are members,
Right.
that's a lot of their times, especially in the afternoon. But yeah, I encourage everybody to do it.
And they got a couple different types of membership out there at Pine Forest Country Club, so I encourage you to give them a call at 427-6505. Talk to them out there. about membership. They've got regular membership, social membership. There's got special ways that you can play golf, as you mentioned, Monday through Friday, and different other ways that you can be part of Pine Forest Country Club.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you, you don't have to be a member to get a lesson from Mike.
No.
That's the cool
this is
part
for
about
anybody.
it.
He's an independent contractor.
Yeah.
Anybody can walk out there and get a lesson from him, as long as you set it up in advance for the appointment, and call 427-6505 to get your. And this is lessons for everyone, for kids, for adults, for duffers, for people who have been playing for 20 years and just want to up their game a little bit.
That's right. Anyone that wants to get better, come on
Just
out.
give me.
And by the way, the country club, they give you the golf balls to hit. Okay,
So the range balls are included.
They're
in the
it's
lessons
included
there.
in that price, and that's normally about $15.
Okay.
Just in range balls are better.
Right. All right. And well, Mike, we're glad that you're here.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And good luck with your hunting club out there at the Lake Grace area, and coming up here and enjoying yourself here in Wayne County. As Roy just mentioned, it's interesting. People from Wayne County want to go down on the coast, and people on the coast want to come inland.
That's right.
Everybody wants to visit something different than where they're at. And so you live over on St. Simons?
I live on St. Simons, yes,
You live
sir.
on St. Simons there, and be coming over here and give you lessons right now. It's on Saturdays, folks. It'll probably expand to other days, especially Fridays. But you have open this Friday, right?
I do have some openings, I think, Friday morning.
Okay. Bob, anything else for our guests?
Like I said, we brag about the course. Pine Forest, I'm just curious your thoughts on the course. I mean, you've been to many courses, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I'll tell you what,
we joke all the time that Paige McCrae can grow grass on concrete. I mean, but to me, he does just a great job of keeping that course in great shape. And, any golfer, it's all about the greens and be able to read the greens. And I mean, people come from far and wide to play this course. Just want to get your thoughts on the course overall.
I agree. I think the golf course, obviously last Saturday was the first time I'd been out there, and I could not believe what great shape it was in. And probably one of the hardest jobs in this world is growing grass. I can't even grow it in my yard at my house. So growing it on the golf course is extremely tough. So you are very lucky to have someone that knows what they're doing out there. So the golf course looks beautiful. Everything was green, in great shape. Facilities are nice, restaurant, everything looks really good.
It's
Okay.
Nice place.
Welcome to Jesup and Wayne County, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. Roy, good seeing you again.
Good seeing you guys.
All right, take care.
All right.
Mustang Sally? He was kidding with us. His grandson did not want him to sing on the radio. Roy used to sing, what was that, about 50 years ago? All right, 30 years ago. Many moons ago. All right, it's 8:30. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. World famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup. Also brought to you by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup on Cherry at Broad. The Wolf Animal Hospital. And also the world famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Birch Ford.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.